You're right.
Many people don't know the real cause of our situation.
Hello.
Hi people, we are talking about our country. Is it possible that a country goes from being an economic miracle to being one of the most miserable countries in the world? The answer is yes, and the country, Venezuela.
From 1950 to 1957, the Venezuelan per capita GDP grew at the same rate of the so-called Asian tigers. The best available estimates also indicate that Venezuela's GDP expanded at a yearly average rate of more than 10% during the 1940s.
But in the decades following 1958, something new started happening. The incredible preceding growth rates slowed down and became negative.
We are the founders and directors of Econintech, a non-profit organization dedicated to disseminate ideals of freedom, educate people, and consulting. What you just saw a few seconds ago was a picture collage of the presidents of Venezuela from 1958 to the present time.
To come to power, those politicians took advantage of people's rational ignorance and desperation because of the deplorable living conditions of millions. All of those presidents implemented socialist plus mercantilist policies while demonized economic freedom.
In fact, the presidential role was back and forth between social democrats and social Christians from 1958 to 1998, year when finally fell into the socialism of the 21st century and has forcibly remained there. Then, where is the so-called wild liberalism that Mr. Chavez accused of multiplying poverty all over the country for 4 decades?
The symbiotic relationship between socialism and mercantilism, maintained by privileged minorities with total access to financial power and social media, and enabled to plan what Venezuelans are taught in schools and universities, caused the country to be caught in a poverty trap.
And also become the perfect breeding ground for the advent of populist system, blaming capitalism as the root cause of inequality and crisis. Take a look at the following graph showing a trustable measure of how economic freedom has been progressively destroyed in Venezuela.
Unfortunately, there is no information available on the Economic Freedom of the World Index before 1970 in the official page of the Fraser Institute. But the data of the last 40 years are enough to realize how our capitalist institutions were becoming more and more scarce. The same capitalist institutions driving the Venezuelan economic miracle from the 1930s to the late 1950s.
With the creation of Econintech, we intend to educate people and fight ignorance in order to ultimately form future leaders whose thinking is consistent with ideals of freedom, prosperity, and people empowerment as opposed to government empowerment.
You can help us share and spread the libertarian ideas in Venezuela.
How can you help? Donating and sharing this video.
We were awarded 2 scholarships to attend the Mises University Instructional Program by the Mises Institute in Auburn, Alabama, from July 24th to July 30th. In addition, we intend to interview Dr. Hugo J. Faria, currently lecturing at University of Miami. He's one of the most committed to freedom economists from Venezuela. We also intend to build bridges of cooperation with the Mises Institute as long as with other libertarian organizations in the United States.
The Mises University Scholarship covers tuition, fees, housing, and meals during the event. But as we showed before, Venezuela has a strong exchange control, and it's really hard to travel without support.
So we decided to start our first crowdfunding campaign. Our goal is to collect at least 10,000 American dollars. The first fraction of the collected money will be for our airplane tickets and the travel expenses during the days not covered by the scholarships.
The rest of the funds will be used to boost our website, pay the fees as domain and hosting in US dollar, improve our communicational and social networks presence.
In addition, funds will be used to buy some office stuff that in Venezuela is almost impossible for a new think tank.
Remember, your support will increase the presence and influence of Econintech and will open a new window to Venezuelans. Hayek once said, "People need to be sure that exists a best option than socialism." Thank you for your support through this crowdfunding campaign in US dollar or in bolívares.
And thank you for sharing this video.